It is July 16, and it's my pleasure to be with Bill Homann, who is going to introduce a very special extraterrestrial guest here on Exopolitics Today.
You're listening to Exopolitics Today with Dr. Michael Salla, your source for the uncensored truth regarding the human, extraterrestrial, global, and political agenda. Click the like button and subscribe to this channel. And now, here's Dr. Michael Salla.
So why don't you introduce yourself first to my audience who maybe don't know about you and your unique circumstances.
Okay, well, I've been for the last 17 years the guardian of the Mitchell-Hedges crystal skull. And it's probably one of the most mysterious artifacts in the world because you have all these people, it's this, it's that, but no one can prove where it came from or how it was made. And, with all the stuff they've looked, there's no one's come through with really being able to say where it came from. But we feel, because I work with a lot of the shamans and the different spiritual masters throughout the planet, and their connection with it is always something that's from our distant past, brought here as a gift to humanity to help the world at a time that the world needs help. And in my opinion, we happen to be right there right now, looking for help. So the help is what it is. It has a lot of universal love, and that is the kind of the key to what the world is needing and missing. You have all this way. This person is different than this person, so you don't like him, and this one doesn't like you, and whatever. We're really the family under the Creator, and it's time for us. And the skull's message to us is, through our hearts, opening our hearts and bringing in that love and light into our life and our world. And it's an interesting job, but it's a beautiful job to be able to go around and see people changing and finding out their real purpose and opening now, because there's so much of this great light coming in from the divine into the planet and being grounded here. It's changing our whole DNA and everything. So we live in this time of very big positive change if we use it. It's all about our creation, and we're working on getting people to create a place of this peace and joy and love and no war.
So with the crystal skull that you have in your possession now and that you have taken around the world and introduced people to, now there was someone who had possession of it before you and handed it over to you. So first of all, why don't you tell us a little bit about the history of this crystal skull? I mean, how it was discovered,
Sure.
where, and so
Yeah, it was British explorer F.A. Mitchell-Hedges, and he was looking for a connection between Atlantis and the Mayan. And he heard about a lost city that was buried deep in the jungle, and he wanted to find that, and he thought he would be able to find something at that point. So he went down to, which was British Honduras at the time, and had an expedition. They found the site. It was a huge site, over 30 or 40 acres, and they had cleared over a 3-year period. They were able to clear like 7 pyramids, a ball court, and a spiritual center that they were able to bring out of the jungle, because the jungle had over 1,000 years had really just came in and covered everything. And so what they did is there was the one tallest pyramid there, and that was very dangerous because the rocks would move and there's snakes and stuff. And they were always told the young kids they were not allowed on it. But they also told them that if you went to the top, you could see all the way to the ocean. And his adopted daughter, Anna, and, as I tell the story, you'll probably see, she was, I always say that, did you know that Indiana Jones was a woman? Because she had the adventurous spirit for sure. And she snuck up there with a couple of the Mayan kids. They went to look for to see the sea, and it was all cloudy. The clouds moved, and a beam of light came down on the top of the pyramid, and it went through the cracks that had moved the stones, and there was a light inside. And when she ran down and told her father, there's something there, she was in big trouble. But the next day he had all the men out there, and they decided that there must be something there. So they started moving it, and it started to collapse. And so then they had to do one stone at a time, and it took them like 6 weeks to get a hole big enough for the small person. And it was covered up for 1,000 years. And here she's going, they picked Anna because she was small and she wanted to do it because she saw it. And they put her in and with ropes and dropped her into this pyramid that hadn't been opened, and what's inside, And she found something and she put it in her shirt. And when they brought her up and the sunlight hit it, it was like the Mayans' God had returned, because they call it their God. Yeah. So that's in their belief in their religion. Yeah.
So she brought up out of this Mayan pyramid something she had seen
Right.
that had been
she
buried for over 1,000
Yeah,
years.
it's a perfectly made crystal skull, life size. And she just found the top of it, but then they were able to find the jaw like a month later. And it was not too far from where the skull was found. There was 2 rocks that fell, and if this one wasn't here, it would have crushed it. But it stopped just in time, and it was between the 2 rocks that they found it.
So it's very interesting. You say that the Central American or the Native Americans there thought that this was their god. So what role do crystal skulls play in Mayan legends?
Well, it comes down to even the zero in their, in their calendar and counting. If you look at it, I think they use a skull in that, which would be a crystal skull. So it could be a part of their whole numbering system, could be with the skull. So yeah, I work with a Mayan elder down there, Leonardo Call. His grandfather was at the site where they found the skull, and he was there with them. And so he learned a lot of it, and he has told me a lot of the stories too, that how it was and when they found it and different things. So and he's the one that he knows, he was trained, he's a shaman too, one of the last of the shamans that need to put down their information. But he has all their history and how it lanes up, and it's very, very interesting. It's not simple, it's complicated. There's a lot to it. Yeah.
Okay, so this is an incredible crystal skull unearthed after 1,000 years in a Mayan temple by this explorer and his adopted daughter, and somehow you ended up with it. But
what it is it was Mitchell-Hedges had it from 1927 till he passed away in 59. When in 59 it went to his adopted daughter Anna, and then she had it till she passed away in April 11th, 2007. So that was her 100th birthday. And also it was the year of her 100th birthday. It was my birthday, and then she passed it to me, and she found it on January 1st, 1924, which was her 17th birthday. So it's funny that she found it on her birthday, and she passed it to me on my birthday. But what she did is, when she came and stayed with me the last 8 years of her life, and in that period of time, she started the training earlier, but then she finished the training about it's the lights, the codes, the special names, and how you have to use them to make the skull to connect to the different levels of energy that work through it. So there was a lot to it, but it's my job to pass it on and the information to the next caretaker. And it can't be sold, it can only be gifted.
I see. So what did she say to you, what it was in particular that she saw in you that made you suitable to become the new custodian for the crystal skull back in 2007?
Well, when I first got it, there'd be people that say, oh, you shouldn't have had it, this one should have had it, and this one that. So there was a lot of that. And I got to wonder, well, why? But the thing is, nothing with the skull comes by accident. Okay. And in working with a lot of the past life regressionists and different spiritual leaders throughout, I've met many ones all over the planet, some of the top in the world, and they've told me about the past life, and I have come to believe, from what I've been told and everything, and it feels right, that the skull was found, or not found, but created by 13 masters on a planet that's just outside our galaxy, and that is now destroyed. And they created it with their minds by putting the energy together, and they built the crystal skull. And it was taken from there and brought, to the different star systems and stuff, but it was brought to our galaxy, and working with first to Venus, and it spent many eons of time in Venus before it came to the Earth, and that's how it progressed. But with the connection with the skull going back that far, and at this time, the world needs the skull to help in the raising of the consciousness, to bring us into the ascension. We're at a point to a group of people that have come to a point of their involvement to evolve into this higher being of taking back their power and realizing that we are the sons of God, the daughters of God, and we are that part, and understanding that, bringing us into the higher levels of consciousness and building a place and world of peace and joy and free from war and whatever, and as we build it. And not everybody has to follow into that, but the skull is here now as a beacon light to help guide us to that point. And that's what I've been doing. It's my job. It's a good job because I meet a lot of nice people. I change lives, and I've been told it so many times, and I see it so many times. It's really a good feeling, because anytime you can find something in your life that you can do that helps and changes people, that's a good thing, because you're giving, but the feeling that you get back is so beautiful, and that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, it's wonderful work. And so this crystal skull was made by some highly evolved extraterrestrials from outside of our galaxy and brought in as part of a collection of 13 our galaxy. So this particular crystal skull spent time in different planets, but ended up on Venus before coming to Earth. So crystals we know are alive. So really, this is an extraterrestrial life form.
So we're meeting an extraterrestrial. Yes, we are.
Okay.
It's right here.
Okay, so why don't we unveil the Mitchell-Hedges skull?
Would you like to meet the Mitchell-Hedges skull?
Yes, I would, and my audience as well.
Okay, well, this is the Mitchell-Hedges skull. Yep. It's perfectly made. There's no tool marks on it anywhere. It's made against the grain, which is impossible. It has lenses and prisms built inside of it that it would take zero gravity to do that, because if you try to build on Earth with the gravity, they're not able to build a perfect crystal.
This is built in the vacuum of space.
It'd have to be in some kind of a vacuum or with a technology that we're not aware of. Yes. Mm. But it has dolphins in the cheekbones, so there's a head there, a tail there, and a fin there. Mm-hmm. I showed it to you. It's pretty interesting how it'll pop out when you hit the right angle. So there's one there and one there. So it's like the double dolphins of Lemuria. And so it has a Lemurian energy. It has a Atlantean energy that's quite interesting.
Well, earlier on, you gifted me with a session with this crystal skull, and we did some kind of energy work with it, and I could definitely feel a lot of energy coming out of that crystal skull. So
you could feel a lot, and it was like could you feel the universal love? It puts out that a lot. Yeah,
it was a wave of energy, a wave of energy, and I'm sure, that is love. I felt it as energy. It kind of touched me. I could feel it going right through me. So I can understand how people coming into contact with this crystal skull can get downloads and their lives are changed. I mean, how often does that happen?
Quite often. Yeah. But see, it's this way. I used to take it around to people that say, I wanted to help people, and I've come to the point where the people that are supposed to see it are drawn to it. I was just out in California contacting the desert, and we're doing stuff out there. And, you'd always have the people that come there, they were walking by and all of a sudden they felt drawn to come in there. And it's something that they've known about for years and always wanted to see, and now it's right there. Or they never knew about it. When they see it, it's like an old friend. So there's different reactions, but you see that a lot. People are being drawn to it. But with that, those are the people that the skull wants to bring into its area. So it's telling me now that, it doesn't want to be like a sideshow thing where everybody, look at that. It's bringing the people that have the drive and have it into they want it to meet it to be something to remember, because it's about remembrance, remembering who and what we are and becoming that full self. So it's a good job.
So this crystal skull is part of a collection of 13, and of course there's that famous Indiana Jones movie. What was it? The Crystal Skull, the Legend of
the Crystal Skull.
Right, yeah. So
well, see, that's what brought the attention of the world to crystal skulls, that movie, and so that was kind of a key point to what's happening now.
But that is an actual legend, right? Of the Mayan, the Holman.
Well, there's like 5 different groups that have that legend about the 13 crystal skulls, and if you bring them together, it has, a major effect. But the skull magnifies your thoughts and your heart, and so if you come in with a pure heart and a good mind and put your thoughts together with a group of people, you can really make a difference. The skull says that. With the right amount of people, you could have peace tomorrow. And that would be a good thing. Yeah, we can use them as maybe taking money out of some people's pockets, but, I think it's the time we grow up.
Okay, so this particular crystal skull came out of a Mayan temple in 1924, and there's 12 others. So are they also located in pyramids or
they're all over the world. They found at probably 4 or 5 of them. When I was in Egypt, and that's recently, I met with one of the directors of archaeology there, and it was because they found something 2 years ago in one of these sites that is now locked up in a vault somewhere, and it's not out to the people, but it's a crystal skull, and it's possibly one of the 13. So I'd like to be able to see it and work with it and see if I can connect with it. That would be really neat if that happened. So yeah.
Now, you mentioned this particular crystal skull, the Mitchell-Hedges skull, is actually like the master skull. Like you have like the 12 other skulls are around it, and this one is in the center. Is that?
That's what they say. This is the center skull, and then there's the 12 other ones. Each one has a different special gift, so they're not all the same. So this one, right, what I've found and worked with it, it works really good one-on-one, and I think you can feel that where it really mirrors your inner self. And so it helps bring out your gifts and abilities a lot of times that have been beat out of you this life or other lives because, it's not right to think that way. You can't see something that's nobody else can see, but you see it. And, it's not right. So you put these blocks up for things like that. And you turn off your psychic ability. And it's time now to be more in touch with us on a higher spiritual level so we can be, not only just 8 to 5 physical beings, but we can realize that we're more than a physical body, we're a spiritual body, and there's all, just as much stuff. We think there's so much here, there's tons more stuff on the other side that's right all around us, and it's like a frequency. And if you take a radio station and we're listening to our favorite station, and then we turn a little bit and there's another station, turn a little bit, there's another station. That's how the frequency is. We live, the skull is about light, sound, and frequency. And as we tune into these different bands of energy, we're tuning into different levels of consciousness, or different space, or different times, or there could be, we'd have the ETs all around us, and we just sit here and they're looking at us. If they can see through this veil, and they're, look at those, what are those silly guys doing, or whatever. But if you had the ability, and you do it with your meditation and stuff, where you're able to take charge of your physical body and be able to move into that higher conscious body, there's no limit to what we can or are capable of doing. It's up to us. And if you don't take it seriously and you just don't think about it, well, it'll never happen. But if you work on it, it's a gift that all of us have. It's not, this person has it. No, we all have it. But it's a matter of bringing it out. And each person probably has areas that are easier for them from past lives. They did this before, or they didn't do it, that they would be able to do some readings or whatever easier. So that's pretty neat how that works.
Mm-hmm. Well, as I'm sitting here just listening to you, I just feel like I'm just waves of energy coming from the crystal skull. So I'm thinking that maybe the audience can tune into that as well. So, how can the audience tune in? Because I'm feeling it. So,
well, you know how they can do it. Okay, just tell them to relax for a second, and then take a couple deep breaths. And what they do is just sit there, and just the skull is sending out a big smile. And you can see the smile, and it even goes on your face. So everyone watching, it's like there's that smile coming right at you. And as it goes in, it touches your heart. And there's a really warm, loving feeling. So just because you're looking at it through a camera, it's not something that you're not feeling, because it's a quantum type energy. So it's all there and all for you. And you're opening to the learning about yourself and being your full self. So it's a way of putting fun and joy. Let it happen right now. It's very, very peaceful and very, very gentle. It's very freeing, just feel the freedom that's coming through. It's like, now is the time. Just feel there's light coming from the Creator, and just feel it coming down into the skull, through the skull, and just see it going deep into the earth, deep down into the earth, down into the heart of the Mother. Just feel she has so much love for you and for all life, and it comes back up. As it comes back into the skull, it fills the skull with the energy from the father and the mother. And that energy is like a wave that'll come right out to your heart, wherever you're at, and just feel it filling your heart with that love, the love and light. And it's just a joy and a happiness and peace, and it's something that you can share with other people with just a smile as you go down the street. It makes a difference. Yeah.
I'm definitely feeling that, so I hope the audience is able to pick that up too. It's truly an amazing energy coming from that, from the skull.
Yeah, I want to, that's coming back now. I'm going to bring everybody back on the count of 5. Just let the energy start flowing back into your body. And 4, you can just feel it flowing out your fingertips and toes as you're coming up. 3, and this is where you hold the love. It's your love that you created, coming from the skull, coming to you, and just let it fill your heart with that love. It's yours. 4, it's almost back, and then 5 has been counted, and then you're free to open your eyes whenever you're ready. And just feel the love of the Creator, God's love.
Well, this is truly a gift, the energy that is coming through that. I mean, I hope people in the audience were able to feel that. I could definitely feel it. And it's worth emphasizing that crystals are alive.
Mm-hmm.
So this really is
it's a being.
Yeah.
It's been around a long, long time. So there's a lot of history and knowledge in the skull. As they say that the knowledge of the universe has been stored in these skulls, and it's coming to a point where, if you had something and you wanted to pass it down to future generations, what would you put it in a book and whatever, it wouldn't last. But with crystal, it's something that either the person would be afraid of as a skull, or they respect it as a skull, or find the beauty of it. And so it's either feared or loved very much, but it would always be protected and brought down to the time when humanity has the capability and knowledge to reconnect to the light and sound that's been stored in the crystal, because they're finding now that they can take with light beams, store all the knowledge in the universe can be stored in a crystal, especially of this size. And that's what we have almost the ability to start bringing that out. That'd be so neat.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is connecting people to their higher self, to the cosmic consciousness, the heart energy, healing. People, ailments can be healed by this connection.
You can't say, but it's there's been a lot of people that have had different experiences, and it's not me doing it, because I can't say, you got a sore arm, okay. No, but it's just the energy. When you have a problem, and it's on a physical plane, you got a sore knee or whatever, the cause of it is not always it's not a physical thing. It could be a spiritual thing. It could be a psychic thing. It could be something from a different plane or something, and you're picking it up, or a past life. And so once you go to the cause and clear the cause, the effect goes away. Mm-hmm. And that's what we work with, the cause on things, but not saying that, because everyone is different, and a lot of people have things in their life that's not very good because they have a hold of there, because for some reason they need it to either, they have to have this as a crutch. I got I got a bad leg or whatever. Mm-hmm. So, they don't want to lose it. They want to keep it. But if people are really seriously want to free themselves from it, by freeing it on a different plane or whatever it is, makes a major difference. You find that, especially with past lives, usually the one or two of the main past lives will come up when you work with the skull, and those are the keys to opening and freeing the person.
So, I mean, you've described this as being your work since 2007, presenting the skull, demonstrating it to people around the world.
Yeah, I started doing it, and when I did it at first, I could feel F.A. and Anna behind me watching me, you know.
Okay.
There they are. And I remember I was waiting for them to drop the hammer on my head or something, but they got to the point where they figured out, oh, he does pretty good now, so they've been leaving me alone. Let me do my job.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I know people will probably be very interested in finding out more about how they can help you with the work that you're doing, and maybe having a physical experience with it themselves. I mean, how would people do that?
Yeah, well, you know, people are drawn to it, and you know, I do take it around, and it travels quite a bit with me in different places, and people can come to see it. But it's, you know, I don't have anything. You know, there's probably somebody that I'm not really good at the paperwork part of it, so I just do what I do, and I have people that help me a little bit, but I could use that kind of area. But what we do is we have a web page, and it's Mitchell-Hedges.com, and it's kind of gives you people an idea and where the skull is and what it's doing. And let's see. So I just came back from Contacting the Desert, and that was a 3-day thing out in California, and that was quite interesting, especially when I just got back from climbing through the pyramids of Egypt and down the Nile and everything, and then go right away down there. That was a good one, but it met a lot of really special people, and that's what it's all about. So we don't push for people. We want the right people to come to it, and we make it available. And they start coming, and it's just keeps life interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's how we met. We met in Egypt.
Yeah. And then you had an interest, and you didn't really know that much about it before, but there's a lot to it, isn't it? There's very interesting. Yeah. But yeah, you know, I do this work because I feel called to do it, and it's just what it is. It's mainly. I do talks with it, the PowerPoint talks, and then I do a lot of work with one-on-ones. I do it on the Zooms. People can Zoom in and do a one-on-one talk. And that really, you think, that's why when you're doing this and you say, does it work? The people are able to connect to that energy real strong and feel it. So even, you know, over the Zoom, and we do meditations usually at new moon and full moon, and it's just open to the people that really want to work for the good of the planet. And what we do is usually just work for bringing in and sending out this universal love.
Okay, so this is not really intended to be part of a kind of mass movement or a religion or anything like that. It's more for those high level, more evolved souls that are ready to make
the right people,
connection.
Yeah. And you know, people that even if they're not even into spirituality, you'd be surprised that some of them are deeply in it, but they don't know it. So this helps bring that out. Yeah, I've been working with it's just interesting how who is drawn to it, and when you sit down in front of it, and this, you know, I have 10 people come in that day and they're going to see it. So, okay. But when they walk in the room, you never know what's going to happen, you know, because you have some people and they're really kind of start out, you know, face just no emotions or anything. And then it kind of opens up, but you have some people that are crying and everything because it connects with that deep part of themselves. So, that's the kind of that's the excitement of what's going to come next, you know. But it always, I've always had, you know, the skull. When you say skull, some people think, oh, you know, you think about the pirates and stuff. But the skull is, when you see it, it's so beautiful that the beauty of it changes people's feelings just by that, you know. Yeah, there's so many of you can see all the different facets and prisms inside of it. If you put a light underneath it, for that 90-degree turn, shoots it out the eyes. So probably in the days of the Maya, if you put it into you had it in a cave and you had it on a rock that had a fire below it, you could move the rock and the light could come out, and everybody's standing there and they move it and the light shoots out the eyes. If you told them all to jump off the cliff, they'd probably all do it. So
any final words you want to say to my audience?
Oh, let's see. Just that, life's a joy. Go for the fun. And, realize that, even when bad things come, there's usually a lesson there. And instead of fighting it, flow with it and have fun. And if the time is right and you're supposed to, well, maybe you'll meet the crystal skull someday. It's like an old friend, isn't it?
Yes. Well, definitely an incredible opportunity. I'm very grateful for being able to have this interaction with the crystal skull, and I'm grateful that you could introduce this living extraterrestrial to my audience.
Yeah, so we got a real one right here.
That's right. Well,
see how it's got all the bumps of a human skull?
Right.
You feel it like that, yeah.
Okay. All right, yeah.
And it's all that detailed.
That's right, yeah. It does feel like a human skull, not that.
Yeah.
Cool. Feeling a human skull.
Yeah.
How big
But
it feel like.
So, well, really glad we could do this.
Thank you, Bill.
Remember, we went through Egypt together. That was quite wild, wasn't it?
That was quite an adventure, quite an initiation.
Yeah.
You have been listening to Exopolitics today with Dr. Michael Salla. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Join or start a conversation in the comments. Take the time to explore the vast library of best-selling books, webinars, and podcasts by Dr. Salla. Visit exopoliticstoday.com.